Hello, everybody. With about 8 weeks to go, we're going to start doing a weekly poll recap. We'll take a look at President, Senate, Governor, and the U.S. House. Just like I did a couple of years ago, we're going to try to do this about once a week until the election. Some of these polls are going to be great, some of them not so great. You can be the judge of that as we go. But let's open up here on Real Clear Politics. And this is the average of the 7 key battleground states. And this is current through September 7th. And right now it's essentially tied. Kamala Harris has a 0.2% advantage. Trump is up in Arizona and North Carolina, Pennsylvania is tied, and Harris is up in the rest. The widest margin is in Wisconsin at just 1.4. And in all these averages, nobody even had 49% of the vote. If we go down here and take a look at the timeline, everybody knows that prior to Harris, Trump had the consistent lead. After Harris got in, she closed the gap, slightly eclipsed Trump, and it's almost even for the past week or so. Now, there are several different aggregates out there. We're going to get on 538 in a bit, but we're going to keep going here on Real Clear Politics to take a look at the individual polls. Now, as of the time I'm making this video, no new polls have dropped after Friday the 6th. So let's see what we've got. We do have that recent Emerson polling. They took a look at a few states outside the 7 main battlegrounds. And in Florida, they've got Trump up 5, 50 to 45. Texas, he's up 4, 50 to 46. Then we've also got a University of Texas poll where Trump is up 5, 49 to 44. With third parties, it's still the same margin. Then back to Emerson, we've got Ohio. And Trump is hitting double digits there, 53 to 43. Then they go into California, where Harris has a commanding 24-point advantage, 60 to 36. Then still with Emerson, they did the U.S. Senate race in Ohio. It's a 2-point lead for Sherrod Brown, 46 to Bernie Moreno's 44. That's going to be the best poll I've seen for Moreno. Again, it's all going to come down to the late breakers. Then we've got another Senate race in Florida. Rick Scott only has a slim 1-point advantage, 46 to Debbie Mucarsel-Powell's 45. I've always said Scott was not that strong of a candidate. That 1-point lead might spook his campaign a little bit, but the lean of the state is likely to at least give Scott a win, even if it's narrower than he'd like. And of course, Scott is no stranger to winning close elections. Then the Senate race in Texas. Ted Cruz is up a modest 4 points, 48 to Colin Allred's 44. That's the Emerson poll, but the UT poll has Cruz up 8, 44 to 36. So more undecideds in that poll. If you're looking for the U.S. Senate in California, Adam Schiff is up 22, 55 to Steve Garvey's 33. Let's go back to Thursday. We've got national polling, and Emerson has Harris up 2 points, 49 to 47. Rasmussen has Trump up 1, 47 to 46. And Morning Consult has Harris up 3, 49 to 46. So generally we're seeing Harris maintain an advantage in the popular vote. I would guess she's going to need to win that by at least 3 to 4 points if she's likely to win in the Electoral College. Then from Fabrizio, we've got a Montana Senate poll. Tim Sheehy is up a healthy 6 points, 51 to John Tester's 45. And at the top of the ticket, Trump is up 15, 56 to 41. So we see Tester running well ahead of Kamala Harris, but not 15 points ahead. Then we've got action in the U.S. House for Montana. In the 1st District, it's a rematch between Ryan Zinke and Monica Tranel. This is a typo here. They have Tanel. It's supposed to be Tranel. But either way, they've got Zinke up 6, 49 to 43. That was a closer margin last time, and Zinke could be in danger in a more blue-leaning environment. In the 2nd District, that's an open seat, and it's overwhelmingly red. Troy Downing is up 21 over John Driscoll, 52 to 31. How about an Oklahoma poll? Trump is up 16, 56 to 40. Then we could go back to Wednesday, we've got the CNN polling. With this poll, Arizona is the state that looks the best for Trump. He's up 5 there, 49 to 44. In Nevada, Harris is up 1, 48 to 47. It's tied at 47 in Pennsylvania. Then with third parties in Michigan, Harris is up 5. Wisconsin, she's up 6. In Georgia, she's up 1. Then in the Senate for Arizona, they've got Gallego up 3, 47 to 44. In Nevada, Jackie Rosen, again up double digits, 50 to Sam Brown's 40. Pennsylvania is a surprise. That's tied at 46 between Bob Casey and David McCormick. In Michigan, they've got Alyssa Slotkin up 6 over Mike Rogers, 47 to 41. And in Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin also up 6 over Eric Hovde, 51 to 45. How about the Senate race in Maryland from Gonzalez Research? Angela Alsobrooks up 5 points over Larry Hogan, 46 to 41. There was another one just before that showed the race tied. I think that's going to be an interesting race because in pretty much every other state in the Senate, Democrats are running well ahead of Kamala Harris. In this state, it's the exact opposite. Larry Hogan is going to run miles ahead of Donald Trump. It's highly debatable how much crossover vote there's actually going to be, but so far these are the numbers we're looking at. So those are the past few days on Real Clear Politics. Let's switch over to 538. And again, here's these Senate races from Emerson. But this time they'll show you the sample size. We're looking at about 800 or 900 likely voters. So not a tiny sample size there, but like with every poll and every pollster, they're going to do their own kind of weighting based on how they expect the electorate to look. The problem is we just don't know if that's going to be accurate or not. We're not going to know until the election. So a couple other races here from last week. Under these Emerson ones, we've also got another one in Michigan from ActiveVote. Slotkin there is also up 6, but in that one it's only a 400 sample size. It's the same thing in Tennessee. They also polled that race. And they've got Marsha Blackburn up 20 points over Gloria Johnson, 60-40. So it doesn't look like there's any undecideds in that race. Now let's move on to governor. Here we've got Fabrizio. They took a look at pretty much everything in Montana. And you can see this was taken late August, the 25th through the 29th, 600 likely voters. The poll sponsor was AARP, but that's not an overt partisan sponsor, and it's also not an internal from either of the campaigns. They've got incumbent Republican Greg Gianforte up 16 points over Ryan Bussey, 54-38. Then from Signal with 500 likely voters, we've got Washington. That one is actually close. They've got Bob Ferguson up only 4 points over Dave Reichert, 48-45. That's 3 points, but I guess with the rounding, it's going to come out to 4. That I've said could be an under-the-radar race to take a look at in the home stretch. It's going to take more than one poll to prove something could be happening in this race. But let's hope this governor's race does get more attention from pollsters. And the last one here we've got is North Carolina. That's going to be the key governor's race. And from East Carolina University, with 920 likely voters, Josh Stein is up 6 points over Mark Robinson at 47-41. In that one, it does seem like Stein has started to maintain an edge. He could win it comfortably in the end, or Robinson could have a late surge. But those are a few recent governor's races. Now let's take a look at the U.S. House. And this is where you get polling sponsors that are a lot more partisan or internals from the campaign. And we've got a second look here at Montana's 1st Congressional District. This is with 500 likely voters from Impact Research, but it was sponsored by Democrat Monica Tranel's campaign. And usually the reaction from partisan or internal polls is going to be that it's going to favor the candidate that they want to win. A lot of times that's true. It's usually going to be more favorable for that candidate. However, there are some times where internal polls get the result wrong. They could show their candidate down, but they end up winning. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened. Either way, in this one, it's very close. Ryan Zinke is up 2 points, 46-44. And that one also has 4% going third party. Then we've got a big race here in Alaska. Another one with 400 likely voters from Signal. And this one does have backing from Republicans, including Nick Begich, the candidate in this race. He's showing a tight one, a 1-point advantage for Mary Peltola, 46-45. So that race could be highly interesting. It's got ranked choice voting, and one of the Republican candidates, Nancy Dahlstrom, who finished in 3rd place, she dropped out of this race for the general election. How about in Maryland? We've got the 6th Congressional District. This is going to be an open seat to replace David Trone. And we've got the wife of former Congressman John Delaney. That's April Delaney. She's facing off against Neil Parrott, who ran last time in this race. And this poll only has 317 registered voters, so that is not a good sample size. But usually in these U.S. House races, the sample sizes are going to be smaller. But they've got Parrott up 2 points, but it's only 41-39. If there's any other potential pickups for the Republicans in Maryland, it would be in this district, but it should be an uphill climb. Last time, David Trone beat Neil Parrott by a very comfortable margin. Then we could skip over these Montana polls from Fabrizio Ward, and we'll finish it out here on September 4th. We've got Oregon in the 5th Congressional District with 419 likely voters from Noble Predictive Insights. It's extremely close between incumbent Republican Lori Chavez DeRemer. She's trailing challenger Janelle Bynum by 1 point, 43-42. So a lot of undecideds in that race. And then in Michigan's 10th District, we've got freshman Senator John James. He's up by 3 points in a rematch between Carl Marlinga, 47-44. The sponsor in that one is going to be affiliated with the Democrats. So you can look at a few more of these if you'd like. We've got Florida, we've got New York on there, but that's kind of a look at where things are at in this first week in September. It should be a completely wild ride over the next 7 to 8 weeks. There's going to be some polls you like, there's going to be some polls you don't like. If you want to look more into these, you can always click and try to take a look at the crosstabs, also the specific demographic sample sizes and the weighting. There's always going to be some sort of discrepancy you can point out. Some of these polls are going to be spot on, some of them are going to be way off, but now that we're actually after Labor Day, I think the polling is going to start to have more weight. Most of these were still taken in late August, so over the next week or two, especially after the debate, that's when we might start to get a feel for the national environment. But that's it for this recap with 8 weeks to go, so let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of these polls? Are there some you like? Are there some you don't like? Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.